Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back at it on a Sunday, day after UFC 324. Man, what a weird, exciting, entertaining, somewhat boring. The UFC 324 was a little bit of fucking everything. Let's be real. I mean, we had everything from canceled fights to just boring fights to exciting fights, finishes, and of course eye pokes, nut kicks, everything combo meal. Yeah, we had a little bit of everything, man. It was a buffet of just events. I guess you could say. But I mean, overall, I feel like, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It could have been worse. It definitely could have been worse. We've had worse events in the recent past, and I think for the most part, it went down pretty good. And I think that the main event really saved the entire event. It started off really good. We had some really good finishes in the beginning, and I feel like there was enough going on for it to be entertaining for being what it was. The first fight on Paramount Plus as far as the UFC goes. So, and like Infinity said, happy that the stream was stable. I didn't have any issues. I did have a couple of people, texting me, hitting me up, asking me if I was having problems, because apparently they were. So hopefully they got that figured out. But I know towards the end, I think on the last fight, we were noticing a little bit of like kind of like hesitation in the picture. I don't know. It was almost like it would skip a frame almost. So other than that, though, I didn't see any problems. Bro, I think the main was one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. Paramount lucked out with that. Yeah, like I said, I think they saved the whole card. The card might have been a little mid if it wasn't for that fight. Post 2K69, what's up? Welcome in. Appreciate you for jumping in and giving me your input. I appreciate that. Don't know if I've seen you in here before, but welcome in. But yeah, I definitely think Paramount got lucky. The UFC got lucky that that Gaethje and Pimblett pulled through, because the fights leading up to it weren't that great. I mean, O'Malley and Song was okay. I think it definitely could have been better. There was a little bit of action in there. What's up, Antoine? Welcome back. I feel like it could have been a little better. I was hoping to see Sean come out to his normal walkout song, which he did, and then come out there fighting the whole fight with right on, Post. Well, thanks for jumping in and checking it out. I appreciate you, because yeah, that's how my channel grows. So if you guys don't mind, at least hit that like button while you're here. If you like what you see, then yeah, subscribe too. That'd be awesome. But otherwise, appreciate you for jumping in, and I like interacting with the chat too. So you got anything you want to jump in there and throw in, I'm good with that. Low-key hate how they had ads during some of the walkouts. Presentation was cool though. Yeah, so I'm gonna address a little bit of that once we get to the meat of the show, which will be coming up here soon. I think a lot of the issues had to be with the stuff happening in the prelims. I think the prelims, as far as production and stuff like that went, I think that was a little bit of my problem. But the thing is they dropped what two fights in the prelims, and then dropped the one of the the co-main event. So there was less fights than there should have been, and I know that shouldn't really affect the fact that normally there is only like 5 fights on the main card, but when the prelims and stuff go way shorter than they normally would, it seems like they were trying to just kind of fill in, and the UFC doesn't usually do that. Low key. Oh wait, the prelims were great in my opinion. Oh, okay. Yeah, Antoine, I mean, I thought the prelims were pretty good too. But as far as the ads and stuff, I just kind of think that it was the first show. I mean, they're gonna work the bugs out. I mean, the UFC is usually pretty good at that. Their promotional team and production team, they know how to run shit. They're the best in the business for a reason. And I think that, jumping onto Paramount Plus, maybe there was some things that some bugs they got to work out as far as the production and the broadcast goes. But I mean, what can we really, what can we really complain about? We didn't have to pay $80 for it. You should definitely be complaining when shit like that happens and you're paying $80 for it. But I get it, ads are ridiculous, and I hate dealing with any of them, especially when you're saying that you're subscribing to a premium, you have a premium subscription, which I did do for Paramount Plus. I already had it. So before we really dive in, how was your day? This storm has hit the south hard. Oh yeah. Arizona's good. I mean, it's a little chilly. It was raining some, but nothing crazy. Infinity said his mom was snowed in Cincinnati. Yeah, there's a lot of snow ins, a lot of snow, crazy shit going on with snow. So yeah, be safe out there if you're in those areas, because yeah, I don't like the snow very much. I don't mind visiting somewhere with some snow, but having to deal with it, I have to do that sometimes for work. I'm having to drive up north, and there's snow up north in Arizona for sure. So during the winter times, if I have to drive up there, that sucks. I hate it because driving in snow sucks, and we're not prepped for that here. I mean, the places I go seem to be pretty prepped, but as far as knowing how to deal with regular everyday snow type shit, but not the crazy storms that seem to be happening. It doesn't look like anybody's fully ever prepped for something like that, especially when it's out of the ordinary. So hopefully everyone's safe out there. Yes, I am from AZ, born and raised here, so I've been around a little bit here and there, but I haven't really traveled. I've only been to like Mexico and never really traveled outside of the country other than that. And yeah. But yep, born and raised here. So anyway, yeah, I mean, as far as the prelims go, it's just one of those things, man. The ads are gonna happen, and now we're getting it for free. Like Dana White handled it in a funny yet asshole-ish type of way, because I was just like, damn, what a dick. But he's like, hey, what do you expect for $8.99? Saying that like that's the lowest you could pay probably, and if you're watching it for that price, you're probably going to get more ads than everybody else, or you're going to get ads regardless. So that's what he's just trying to say. But he doesn't come across very well with the way he says it. But he's just sick and tired of everybody talking, probably complaining about one thing or another, whether the fights were $80 a piece or they were free, completely free, or just the price of your subscription. I mean, he doesn't give a shit when it comes down to it. This is what everybody wanted. They were sick of the paying for all the pay-per-views, and now you've got, this subscription that's all you have to pay for instead of paying for the subscription on top of the pay-per-view. And yet, people still had a problem. So I say, let's give it a little bit let's give it a little bit of time. Let's give it a little bit of time. Let them work out any little bugs they might have. While the UFC might be the best when it comes to broadcasting and production, as far as MMA goes, moving over to a new network and stuff like that, they try to do big things in the first show, as you saw with the little curtain drop thing and stuff like that. And they're going to try different things, try to make it a little different for the start, but it's going to settle in and smooth out. That's kind of how everything works. I'm sure that's how this is going to work. Let's hope that there's no bigger speed bumps along the way. It's not hurting his pockets. No, not at all. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was pretty damn good. There's always something to complain about. And I don't mean that in a dickhead type way. I just mean there is always something to complain about. Somebody's always going to not like something. There's not going to be a perfect performance through and through. So you got to give it a little grace, and just remember that shit, we didn't have to pay the $80. It doesn't mean we should have to settle for a lesser of an event, but I think with the White House coming up later this year, the events are going to be a little bit different with the setup and stuff, as after still better than any live Netflix event we've tried to watch. That's true. I mean, we did have a bunch of issues with the Netflix event when it came to Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson and stuff like that. I do think that Paramount Plus has a little bit more of a handle on it than Netflix does. So Yeah, it's just one of those things. I just think they need to have a little bit of time. It's going to take a couple events, but unfortunately for them, they have two big events to kick off this era. And so those two big events are good for broadcasting as far as getting viewers in, but it's also going to be the most scrutinized for any issues that come up along the way. For those bugs that you got to work out in the beginning, there's always going to be them. Production wise, stuff like this, I mean, this is way lower level, obviously, but anybody I know that does YouTube or streaming of any sort has technical issues, has other little issues. It always happens. So I think the White House is going to be over the top now that we have an American in the main event. And have you ever been to Diamondbacks or Cardinals game? Yeah, I've been to both. I actually just went to a Cardinals game in December against the Atlanta Falcons, actually, because my daughter is a Falcons fan, and obviously I like Atlanta teams too. So yeah, we went to the Cardinals versus the Falcons game, and luckily for my daughter, because she's a big, huge Falcons fan, they won that game, so it was cool. And yeah, I've been to some Diamondbacks game. I went and watched the Braves play a couple years back. I've been to a couple other games there as well. So yeah, I like going to the games. It's always a big thing, because we have to travel. I have to travel from Tucson to Phoenix, which isn't bad. It's 2 hours, just a little bit over if you run into heavy traffic or whatever. But then finding parking, getting in and out of the parking, all that crazy shit, you're doing it from a little ways away. So you take 2 hours to get out of there, and then you got to take 2 hours to drive back. So it's a whole thing, but it's okay. And unless Magic's driving, yeah. And then it's 45 minutes tops. No, he said half an hour, some shit like that. But yeah, I like going to the games. It's cool. And I'm glad that we have a team that's at least 2 hours away that we can go watch. Teams that we can go watch, I should say. I have not been to a Phoenix Suns game, though. I've never been to a professional basketball game. I would love to go see an NBA game one of these days. And I'm sure my daughter would too, so I need to get on that. We need to do that. Hey, all is good. What's up? Welcome in. Thank you for jumping in as well. Appreciate you. Yeah, so before we go too much further, let's go ahead and hit up my sponsor, and that is Noctane smelling salts. And of course, as usual, got to hit the Noctane before we get too deep in and keep myself awake and alert. And hopefully this bottle works, because it was a little bit weak the last time, but it surprises me here and there. And I got my other bottle. I need to bring that bottle in here and get to using that one and try to revive this one. So here we go. Let's take a little whiff. Oh, there it is. Second time. First time I smelled it a little bit. Second time it hit. This is the most potent bottle, which is why, that affected me pretty well. But they do have two other levels of potency, which there's a mid-range and an entry level. You can choose whichever one you want. Scan that QR code on the screen. There's a link in the description below. You can go check out their website. My logo is all the way at the bottom of the front page because they sponsor me. So they have a little section saying proudly sponsoring. And that's me down there. So go check that out. Their website's cool as shit too. So you can go learn about it or whatever. But yeah, thank you, Noctane, for the sponsorship. Appreciate it. And let me turn my fan back on because, I like to have a little airflow in here. I was telling people if Jared was able to find Paddy's chin, then Justin was going to do the same. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I was hoping for Justin to, be able to get the win there. I think Paddy has a good career ahead of him. Of course, going into a championship match undefeated is a big feat. And being able to go into the undisputed, to unify the title would have been awesome for Paddy and for Paddy fans. But I think it takes some pressure off his shoulders, maybe, so that and shows him that he can hang up there with somebody like Justin who hits that hard. So I think it was a good test for him, a good way to show him what he's up against and what he can prep for in the future. But with Justin being on his last leg of his career here and being on his last run, I think it's good that he got that win and he was able to do it in the fashion that he did. So we'll definitely get deeper into that here in a few minutes. Your daughter's a Falcons fan? Yep. So we got some Atlanta fans over here from different sports. Who is her favorite player, Bijan or Drake? I think she's I think she's big on both, but she leans towards Bijan because, you know, he went to the U of A and stuff like that. So, or he's from over here. Maybe he didn't go to the U of A. Did he go? Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? He's from here. So, did you watch Charles Barkley? Yes, I did. Charles Barkley was a savage. He was kind of an asshole too, but that's kind of why I liked him. Justin bloodied him up pretty good, minus eye poke. Yeah, the eye poke shit kind of sucked. But who you picking between Ilya versus Justin? It's hard to say that Justin can beat Ilya. That's a tough thing to say. But I think he has some good momentum underneath him right now and behind him. So I think he has a good chance, and he's definitely going to go in there hungry. But Ilya is not Paddy Pimblett. So he's got a whole different set of skills that he has to prep for and worry about when it comes to Ilya, because Ilya is going to match him with the striking for sure, and then he's just good all the way around, and he evades better than Paddy does. He doesn't get into those crazy wars that Paddy seemed to be willing to get into. Ilya's used to finishing things earlier and doing things in a way that just seems to overcome his opponents easily. So Justin's not going to be an easy opponent for him, but we've seen him get knocked out before. But he's definitely durable and he can withstand a lot. So I think depending on how good he comes into that fight, it's gonna be a tough one. But he has a small chance. I'm not going to count him out 100% because that's my boy right now. So I'll give him a small chance, but it's going to be a tough one for sure. Who you picking between Natalia versus Valentina? The way Natalia looked in that fight against Rose, she's not going to match up well against Valentina. I'm going to get to it, but I almost think that Rose won that fight or edged it out. My dog's barking in the background, so if you guys hear that, I don't know what he's barking at, but I hear my wife shushing him, so he'll stop soon. Anyway, I don't know that Natalia has a big chance against someone like Valentina with the performance she put on against Rose, so that one's going to be tough too. Paddy Youth is all that saved him. Maybe. He's got the skills, but damn dog. Justin needs to pull him to the later rounds. He does. All is good. That is a great point for sure. Nothing. He's literally barking at nothing. I'm not surprised. He's kind of been doing that lately. Hopefully he'll stop and he'll just chill out. But anyway, let's get to the topics at hand here. Man's best friend, Maine. Yes. And there you go. I always wait for the first one and then we got to play it up.
What's happening with you, man?
He wants them ribs to get tenderized again. Damn, the ribs were pretty fucking good last night. I'm not gonna lie. I made like 3 racks, bro. Like 3 racks of ribs for like 5 people. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just that's what we had. So I had some new seasonings I seasoned it with, and I had some new sauces. I had this hot honey glaze and this really bold like flavorful barbecue sauce, all made by Kinder's. And the I made one rack with barbecue, one with the hot honey glaze, and one with the barbecue and hot honey glaze mixed. This was my daughter's boyfriend's like combination he wanted, and it all turned out fucking good. So yeah, we still have a little bit left, but we tore it up. I picked Justin to win this fight, man. Why not ride with him until the end? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just realistic about it. That's all. Ilya is a different type of opponent for sure. So, yeah, let's get it. The hot honey is so addicting. Oh, fuck yeah, man. And this hot honey glaze, made by Kinder's. It's their, like, reserve brand of sauces. It's fucking good, man. Holy shit. I found a 3-pack, and it's good shit. So, it came out really, really good, and we had some good eats before the fight started. So, yeah, let's get into it. I do want to talk real quick about Zuffa boxing, so let's get started there. Favorite restaurant to eat? You know, it's gonna sound weird. I have a few. There's this place called Redbird here. Chocolate flavored barbecue ribs. Are you fucking trolling right now, Johnny? Because if not, that sounds pretty interesting. I don't know about chocolate with ribs. That seems a little funky, but it could, I mean, sometimes shit's good. Who knows? Uh, okay, good. You never know with you guys sometimes, but it was a robbery of the. Oh shit. All right, so before we get into UFC 324, Zuffa Boxing made its debut on Paramount Plus, and its debut overall. Actually, first event ZO1 is what they called it. Zuffa Boxing 1. And looks like they had a lot of decisions. I didn't get a chance to watch it because it was my buddy's birthday. Had a lot of stuff going on this weekend. So my buddy's birthday is today, but we kind of celebrated on Friday night, so I didn't get a chance to watch these, and I never went back to watch them because then I prepped a lot of different stuff for Saturday. And it looks like there was only 2 stoppages on the whole card. Applebee's, main. Oh yeah, I didn't even finish saying, Antoine, do you think we make it to Zuffa Boxing 100? Yeah, I bet you they do. I bet you they do. This is something that, I mean, Dana White, you see, Power Slap's still going. So I don't think he'll give it up too quickly unless it really, really drains money and he's forced to let it go. But they've been waiting a long time to make this happen, and I think they already have another event this week coming up, just like the UFC does. So if they keep on that pace, they'll get to 100 for sure. But they had a bunch of decisions. I didn't get to watch all the fight. I didn't get to watch any of the fights, honestly. I just didn't have time to go back and watch it. Didn't hear a lot about it either. So I don't know. Can they make Kellen Walsh a star though? I'm pretty sure they can. He's well on his way. We had Troy Nash versus Jacob Ramos. Unanimous decision there for Nash. Performance of the night bonus going to Robert Merriweather III, who got a unanimous decision win over Cesar Correa. What up, Tyler? Welcome back. We got Emiliano Cardenas versus Marcus Harris. Cardenas gets the unanimous decision win there. Floyd Diaz versus Guillermo Gutierrez. Diaz with the unanimous decision as well. And the first fight of the night that wound up in a TKO win was actually an injury-related win, so it wasn't even an actual KO or TKO. And that was Omar Trinidad getting the win in the 10th round over Max Ornelas. And Max got the dislocated shoulder injury that stopped the fight 30 seconds into the 10th round. So yeah, not even truly a KO, TKO win. It was an injury. And then we had the fight of the night bonus going to Julian Rodriguez versus Kane Sandoval in a unanimous decision win for Rodriguez, but they both get the fight of the night bonus because they had the fight of the night. The only actual KO TKO win, but it was still a doctor stoppage, but obviously Misael Rodriguez put some damage on Austin Deanda and gets the doctor stoppage win in the 4th round to get the only finish technically of the night on Zuffa Boxing 1. Kellen Walsh comes through with a big win by unanimous decision over Carlos Ocampo. And of course, Kellen Walsh is he's the face of the event and of Zuffa Boxing, because he's, Dana White's just truly all about Kellen Walsh. I meant to change that, sorry guys, but yeah, meant to change that. But Kellen Walsh is definitely the golden child of Zuffa Boxing and of Dana White's just favorite at the moment. And he's dating Tabitha Ricci, who fights in the UFC too, so you see him around at the UFC, especially when she's fighting. I didn't watch the card where they actually high-level boxers. I didn't get to watch either, honestly. Yeah, I just had so much going on. I did not get a chance to go back and watch it. So I'm gonna try to catch it sometime this week just to kind of see really how it went. But from everything I was hearing, nothing spectacular, nothing crazy happened, and especially when you see that many decisions on the fights for boxing as well. It can be, it doesn't tell the whole story, kind of like for MMA, but yeah, just a lot of decisions. So almost 100%. Didn't miss anything since it's a boxing event. Nothing ever happened. Yeah, it is kind of how boxing is these days. It's unfortunate. You got to get the real big fights to, get the, it's not like MMA. A lot of times you get those lower level guys in the prelims or in the events you don't think is gonna you don't think is gonna do anything, and next thing you know, you got fight of the night and shit like that happening. So I would assume the fight, because they handed out a fight of the night bonus, that Julian Rodriguez versus Kane Sandoval must have been a decent enough fight, because they did get the fight of the night bonus. If they don't have a fight of the night, if they don't deem any of those fights worthy of a fight of the night, they will not hand out those bonuses. So yeah, I would assume that one was at least you know, pretty worth a bonus, so worth a watch too. Tyler, I get it, despising boxing. I despise the stupidity and corruption and just single nature of boxing, single, you know, skill. But the thing is, it's called the sweet science for a reason. Boxing's been around way longer than MMA, and while it may be in a lull as far as having superstars and really grabbing the attention of the mainstream like it used to, it is still a part of the sport of MMA. Boxing is still something that has built MMA. It's one of the disciplines, and I still respect the sport. But yeah, you don't have to like what's happening with boxing right now, and it sucks. It sucks most of the time, honestly. All that, and the fights aren't even good. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. Old school boxing was better, 100%. Kickboxing is way better than boxing, especially J-kick. Yeah, I mean, of course, but you know, kickboxing just cannot become popular in the US. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Nobody's followed through with trying to get kickboxing super mainstream and popular, because it just doesn't resonate with audiences out here. I don't know why, because it is an exciting sport, just like Muay Thai. And there's a lot of shit out there that is very exciting to watch, but it just doesn't resonate the way, you know, you have to have the promotion, you have to have the money and stuff behind it all in order to get that shit to stick and land, and for people to really tune in. So it's just one of those things. I appreciate all of the aspects of the game, and I respect all of the individual skills that it takes to be good at any of these disciplines. That's why I stay up till 3 a.m. to see the really exciting Japanese event. Yeah, no, I get it, man. I keep hearing about that. What do you call it? That organization. So one of these days I'll catch one. Let's be honest, MMA has swallowed boxing over the last decade. Since 2016, we've only had like 5 massive boxing fights, all 3 of the Fury versus Wilder's, Crawford versus Spence, Crawford versus Canelo. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but also if you talk to people that are really fucking like deeply embedded in MMA, they'll still say that MMA's fallen off too. You get the, you know, Fury versus Usyk fights too, those were great. Yeah, there's very few fights that are talked about as much as like a lot of MMA matches in the UFC, especially. So it is tough for it to gain traction, you know, especially when you have, and the problem with boxing is you always have that one main event that's good, and then the rest of the card, nobody knows shit. Nobody knows who the fuck is who unless you're a true boxing head, right? Sumo.
Bruh.
That is funny though. I have seen people go crazy for some sumo shit, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, boxing, it is what it is, man. I'll definitely be on the lookout to see what happens with Zuffa boxing if Dana White, you know, really puts forth effort and shows excitement for this sport as he did for MMA in the beginning. And I saw a little mashup video of him talking about him talking about Zuffa boxing the way he was talking about MMA in the beginning about the UFC. It was kind of a cool little side-by-side comparison of him back in 2001 talking about the UFC, wanting to make it big regardless of what it would take. And yeah, Tyler, it is. Antoine, yeah, $100,000 bonus. I mean, are they doing that for Zuffa boxing too? I don't know, but they're definitely doing that for the UFC. We're gonna talk about that here in just a minute. But yeah, like I said, that video was pretty cool. Watching it back to back. Can he follow through with it the way he did with the UFC? I don't know. He's getting a lot of scrutiny for people talking shit about him trying to come in and take over and change the sport of boxing. But it's like, bro, when the sport of boxing has fallen off like it has, and people talk about it being talk about it being this about the sport being dead. It's like, why not bring somebody in that wants to do something different? But you know, the politics and all the shit involved is what makes it stupid. And it's cool when you Google how many sumo wrestlers existed back then. There's thousands with biographies and everything. Oh shit. Oh, and the J-Kick events have legendary ring girls. Oh, all right. So yeah, we got, that was Zuffa Boxing 1. Again, not a whole lot there. I am gonna try to watch at least the main event and kind of skim through the whole event to try to see like how it all went down, because I didn't really get a glimpse of much at all. So I'll check it out and we'll see what happens. Zuffa Boxing 2 is happening this week coming up as well, so we're gonna have that. But on Friday, that'll be on Friday, and actually that might be something we have in the background, because I'm doing a little something with Infinity again on Friday. I will be heading over to his part of the state, and we'll be doing a little show, a live show then. So you guys be on the lookout for that. Tune in. He's gaining some traction with our last show, so be on the lookout for that. Yeah, I know, finally getting up there. But yeah, maybe we'll have this on in the background or something. So let's move on to UFC 324, and that is the event that just happened last night. Obviously, we had the first event on Paramount Plus. Yeah, man, that video is just taking off. I don't know, it's crazy. And you're getting the subscribers from it too, so that's awesome. Congrats. But the yeah, this event being the first one on Paramount Plus, man, it could have been way worse. It really could have. It was looking pretty grim there for a minute, considering we had Kayla Harrison dropping out with the neck injury, having to get surgery. Bro, Rick, you can go back and look. I have worn the same one multiple times, honestly. I've done 237 shows at this point, 237 plus, and yeah, I've worn multiple shows with the same hat. It just doesn't, I have enough hats where I don't have to wear the same one all the time. So anyway, yeah, Kayla Harrison getting the neck injury, having to pull out, so that sucked, because that was the only undisputed fight on the card, and it could have been a good fight, and everyone was hyped about Amanda Nunes coming back, but that got canceled. So we're wishing Kayla Harrison well. Hopefully she's recovering. As far as Justin Gaethje, we had a little scare with that, because he had the little thing on his neck that everyone thought was staph, and he said was just an ingrown hair, but you can get staph from an ingrown hair, bro. So it's still scary, but he swore up and down it wasn't staph. They had a little cover on it during the press conference and face-offs and all that shit, but that was a little scary for a minute. We also had some shit go down the day of weigh-ins and stuff, other fights being canceled or whatever. Alexa Grasso was supposed to be fighting Rose Namajunas, and she had to pull out. There's multiple different things that happened. At least Rose stayed on the card. I feel like it was a tough fight for her, but she did stay on the card. Let's see, what else happened? Oh yeah, and then there was the other fight that got pulled at the last minute. We'll talk about both of those fights here in just a minute, but all is good as saying thoughts on DC Justin discussion. So if you're talking about the money situation, we did have the announcement before the fights that that the bonuses were going up. So a while back, I talked about how Dana White said that the bonuses were definitely going to go up from, 50,000 to probably 75 or 100. And then he started talking about how he wasn't sure what was going to happen with the money and how it was going to change. So it was like, wait a minute, you already said something about, you can tell us right now that the bonuses are going up, but you can't tell us much else. And now you're kind of going back on that? That's weird. Then we got the announcement that the bonuses went up to $100,000 instead of 50. And that's awesome. That's cool, because if you get a if you get a performance of the night bonus or you get a fight of the night bonus, you're getting 100,000, and you have a chance to get 200, because if you get a performance of the night and a fight of the night bonus all in one, which people have done, you get a $200,000 bonus on top of whatever your purse is, which is insane, and that's pretty good. And they also announced that they're doing 25k bonuses for anybody that gets a finish in general. And that's pretty awesome too, because they never really did that, at least outright, as a disclosed purse of any sort. So that's something new and good. I think that's gonna help people, kind of go for the finishes a little more, maybe. But the thing with DC and Justin is that, DC's talking about the guys getting paid more or whatever, and Justin's like, no, that's not happening. I'm not getting paid shit more than I was before. According to Dana White, they offered him more money and he didn't respond. But how do you offer, like, somebody's gonna say, no, I don't want more money? What the fuck is that? What do you mean, no, I'm not gonna want more money? How do you respond to that besides saying thank you? So what are you saying? He didn't say thank you for giving me more money, so you decided not to give him the money? Is that what it is? Because what are you gonna do, ask him, or were you trying to restructure his contract? That's a whole different thing. Those are contracts, those are legal things. But just to say, hey, we offered him more money, how? What's the context? Where's the details? We didn't really get any of that. And he said that Gaethje didn't respond, and it's like, okay, maybe he didn't like what you were trying to propose. But either which way, he's not getting more money, except for a bonus, and then we have Connor in the on social media talking about how his contract, he feels, is void because his contract pay was based on pay-per-view points, and now that there's no pay-per-view and no points to make money off of, then that voids his contract, so that they're gonna have to go into contract talks. Offered an extra bag of peanuts. All is good. Classic GRP rant. Well, I'm glad there's something that constitutes a classic GRP rant. Oh, that's great. I like that. That's fucking funny. Yeah, Tyler, though, I mean, that's probably it. Maybe he did see what it was and was like, what the fuck is this? But you never know, man. Maybe he just wasn't paying attention. Who the fuck knows? Maybe Dana White's just talking shit because he likes to do that. But I will say a step in the right direction is upping the price of those bonuses, because those things have not been raised in quite a while. So, got kicked in the peanuts. So yeah, at least we got something. At least the fighters got something out of it. I like to see it. I'm glad that they got a little more something out there. But I would love to see them get a little more than that, considering the amount of money the company's making for the new broadcast deal. It's like, how can we not bump up the base pay? That's gonna, affect the entire card. Let's have that happen instead of somebody having something like this happen to them when they're only getting 10k to show and 10k to win. And that's not him getting knocked out in a fight. That's Cameron Smotherman, one of the fights that got canceled the day before because he collapsed after weighing in. It was, that was fucking bad. It was bad. He walked off the scale. He looked a little, shaky on his legs, but and he looked lethargic, obviously dehydrated. But Uncle Dana only tells the truth. No. I'm glad I know that you're being sarcastic on that one. But yeah, Smotherman takes a couple steps, tries walking off the stage, and face plants on the stage. As you can see, his eyes are still open, but he is out as he fainted on stage. Just passed the fuck out, man, and hit his chin, and he wound up having to get stitches. I'm not sure how many, but I'm not sure how many, but that's what happened. And of course that fight had to be off because there's no way they're gonna let anybody faint in front of the cameras, in front of everybody while everyone's watching, and then actually have that guy on the card the next day. There's no way they can justify that, and I don't think that the commission would let that happen either. So bad weight cut, something else happening, I'm not sure. I haven't heard much more about it except for the fact that he got stitches, and obviously after weight cutting, that's tough, and that's a scary situation because you're depriving your brain of being hydrated, and you're depriving your body of water, and you're not eating, all kinds of shit going into that. So that also led to the worst timed commentary moment ever. Yeah, man, Michael Bisping fucking putting his foot in his mouth, talking about how you got to be professional. He doesn't have any sympathy for any of these guys going out there having trouble with weight cuts. It's part of your job. You got to be professional, blah, 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 blah. And next thing you know, bam, motherfucker drops out right behind him, busts his chin open and shit. And all you see is Bisping turning around and go, oh shit. Because it's like, are you going to take a step back now on what you said? Do you really care? Or no? I mean, I get it, because these guys were fighters too. Maybe none of them ever had trouble making weight, or they never missed weight. So that's the stance some of these older guys take, because there's a lot of shit that goes down when it comes to weight cutting, and it was way worse back in the day. They have the PI, they have nutritionists, they have all kinds of shit available to them these days. And not making weight, I mean, that's just your body though, man. That's just your body. There's a lot you can do, but if if your body doesn't want to take it at that time, it's not going to take, cutting that weight and depriving your body of fluids and stuff. So there's a lot to it. I don't pretend to understand all of it, but I mean, from what I've seen and heard throughout the years and years of watching this sport and following it close enough to understand what people go through with weight cuts, and seeing all of the missed weight cuts and botched weight cuts and everything else, I feel a little comfortable, talking about it a little. So, so you could say I'm wrong all you want. It's all good. I don't know for a fact. This is just my opinion and what I've seen. So, it's definitely not a healthy way to go. That's for damn sure. But yeah, that's what happened to Cameron Smotherman. And then the other fight that got dropped, the day of, I believe, was the UFC being concerned that a lightweight prelim bout between Michael Johnson and Alexander Hernandez was, potentially compromised by betting, because they were given a heads up that there was irregular betting movements in recent days leading up to the fight. So they weren't going to take a chance with the fight fixing allegations and all that kind of shit. So they decided to go ahead and cut that fight out. Dana White didn't have any commentary on whether just let Unc get some money and dip. They didn't say anything about whether or not they thought that maybe the fighters were a part of the problem. Like maybe this was one of those things where somebody gave up some inside information or whatever. But it definitely had some movement in the bets, in the betting world, and that drew a red flag, and they were notified of that, so they pulled the fight completely, which kind of sucked, because I was looking forward to seeing Michael Johnson fight again. And against Alexander Hernandez, it could have been a damn good fight. Do you think gambling is ruining the sports world? It's been a part of the sports for decades, but it's not safe with all the different sports books now. Well, like you said, it's been a part of the sports world for a long ass time, but making it as within reach as they've made it, as convenient as they made it by having it being an app on your phone, where basically you just move money from your bank account into your betting account, and then you can bet all the money you want. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more people betting because it's convenient and easy. But ruining the sport, I think if anything, having betting apps might be what's ruining the sport. Betting's always been around though, one fashion or another, one form or another. It's always been there. And can we say that it's ruined other sports? Maybe, but no other sports have been slowed down by it. The NBA, the NFL, boxing, soccer or football, whatever you want to call it, as far as FIFA goes, is what I'm talking about. All those kinds of things are still running at high levels, and that's despite all the betting, despite all of the gambling. So whether it's maybe in MMA, it's ruining MMA a little bit because of how much has been put in the forefront of gambling allegations and all that shit over the past couple years. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think there's a way to get rid of it, especially with how lucrative that business is of betting. So they just made it more mainstream and more, you know, controlled to a certain extent. So it's just gotten easier for everybody to do it. So I don't know. I don't really know what to say. Whether it's ruining the sport or not, it doesn't matter. It's not going to stop it. So it's just a tough thing to comment on, I guess. UFC 325 countdown dropped today. We just got done with the last pay-per-views. It's so weird having another one next weekend. Oh yeah, especially for you all that have to pay for it. It definitely feels different. I did not watch the countdown yet. I haven't really watched a whole lot of anything today, honestly. But Bisping Chael DC company man tier list. Well, DC's a hardcore dick rider for the company. And so is Bisping. I think Chael's a little more of a wild card, but he's definitely a company man. So I would say they're only separated by 0.01% of each other at the most on that tier list. And I think DC might be at the top with Bisping right behind him and Chael pulling up the rear. But that's just my thoughts. So let's move on to one last thing that happened before the fights got started was Dominic Cruz, yet another Arizona guy who actually was born and grew up in Tucson, and it's pretty cool to see one of the guys from here, from Arizona in general, but then also from being from the town I'm from, coming up and you know, he became a UFC champion, and he's a legend of sorts, and one of the pioneers of a certain type of footwork. And he was definitely great in his time, and he's now inducted into the modern wing of the Hall of Fame. So pretty cool for Dominic Cruz for sure. Two-time UFC bantamweight champion, WEC bantamweight champion, and most title fight wins in the UFC/WEC bantamweight history with 7. Pretty good accolades there. You know, the injuries are kind of what held him up and kept him back from being able to become even a longer reigning champion than he was, because I think he would have defended a few more times before he lost that belt, because it did take a while for people to catch up to where he was at with footwork and stuff and the level of IQ he had inside the cage. But he definitely deserves being in that modern wing of the Hall of Fame. So congrats to Dominic Cruz. I went to a restaurant with my friends to watch the card yesterday, and it's a $30 minimum per person for the pay-per-view. Okay. I feel them though. Dana made them millionaires. And they told me I wasn't at 30, so I ordered more food, but they lied to me. So I was already over 30. I mean, it's pretty easy to get to $30 at a restaurant. I mean, I know you're not of age yet, Tyler, but you know, for us adults, you go to a restaurant and you order one drink you order one drink in your meal, and you're damn near at 30, if not already there. So that's a pretty quick and easy way to get to that money. But yeah, I get it when you're not buying alcohol drinks and shit. So yeah, it's tough. $30 is better than 80 though, that's for sure. So, or whatever you wound up paying. But yeah, that's tough, man. Sorry to hear that. Let's get to the prelim fights and take a look at what happened as far as, hold on, let me get back to, where is my shit? Oh, okay. We had the first fight of the night with Ty Miller versus Adam Fugit, and Ty Miller coming in as his UFC debut against Adam Fugit, and you know, it was a pretty good fight actually. I thought so, at least. As far as, damn it, I keep closing pages that I don't mean to close. Let me move this one here so that I stop losing that page. I have enough screens, so I shouldn't have a problem with this, but I wind up moving shit around. I'm never going there again. It took an hour and a half for my friend's wings, and they fucked it up. Oh shit. Yeah, that sounds like it sucks. They were probably, if they were busy as hell though, I get it. But yeah, it's never fun to wait that long. But you're watching the fights, right? I mean, at least you got to chill. There's good sides and bad sides to that, but I've definitely had bad encounters with going to places to watch fights, which is why I have bought every single fight for a long time now. Spent a lot of goddamn money. Sucks. But it is what it is. Yeah. Ty Miller, though, making his debut. Adam Fugit was, let's see, I believe 2-4 or 1-4 in the, I'm sorry, 2-3 in the UFC coming into this fight. He was coming off a loss to Islam Dulatov. Yeah, that makes sense, Tyler. Everybody pitch in for that fight since you guys still have to pay for it. Yeah, so Ty Miller with his UFC debut comes in looking pretty damn good, man. He got a hold of Fugit pretty early. I mean, he looked like he had some pretty hard punches, some pretty punishing punches there in the first round, or in the beginning of the first round. And then yeah, he just kind of took over and was able to get the best of Fugit. He got the first round TKO with 1 second left, which was crazy because I really thought it was going to get to the second round, and it wound up getting called right with one. I mean, it had to have been less than a second left because that 1 second was sitting on that screen for I would say a second, but you know, it would have been caught. It was crazy. It was crazy because I'm like, oh shit, I'm watching the countdown as I'm watching him, you know, press him up against the cage and beating on him, and next thing you know, the ref calls the fight with 1 second left. So he landed a good spinning elbow. I mean, Fugit landed a good spinning elbow at one point in time. As you can see, busted open Miller as well. On that top picture, his forehead was gashed and bloodied up, but he couldn't capitalize on any of that and wound up getting stopped at the end of the first round. So, I mean, a pretty good first fight coming into, you know, the first fight for Paramount Plus on the prelims. Next up, we had this fucking insane maniac, Josh Hokett versus Denzel Freeman. Dude, Denzel Freeman just looked like he forgot how to fight in this fight. I don't know what happened. I don't know why, but he just did not know where he was at or what he was doing. Granted, Josh Hokett has a weird, unique kind of fighting style. It's very just herky-jerky, and it just didn't look like Freeman knew how to like get a handle on what was happening with Hokett and how he was fighting. So he couldn't find a rhythm, couldn't find a way in to land some punches. So Hokett took advantage right away, got the first round TKO. He was aggressive with a good pace, a lot of pressure. And, you know, Hokett undefeated in the UFC and continues to be undefeated. I think that puts him at 2-0 now for the official UFC fights for him, and he gets another big finish. As you can see, he, you know, dropped him and was able to get that ground and pound. And it looks like, oh, actually, I forgot to say, Ty Miller got a performance of the night bonus for his fight against Adam Fugit, getting that first round finish. Obviously, if you get a finish, you get a $25,000 bonus anyway. So getting a finish means they get a bonus, and that's awesome now. But Josh Hokett looking like he is 2-0 now in the UFC. He got that one win in the Contender Series as well in the second round. It was 1 minute and 6 seconds in. He got a TKO with elbows there. His last fight, he got a first round finish with 56 seconds 56 seconds into the first round, and he got a bonus for that one as well. And then it came to this fight, and another time with 1 second left in the round, he got the finish against Denzel Freeman with another bonus. So Josh Hokett doing good things in the cage. He's a little bit of a weird guy, and fucking, I'll tell you this much, his speech afterwards, oh my god, full on WWE fucking promo shit, cutting promos, fucking half rap, like spoken word lyric, half rap, fucking, I don't know what he was doing, fucking Cat in a Hat book. It was dumb. Patriots versus Seahawks in the Super Bowl again. Oh, okay. Well, I hope the Seahawks win. Fuck the Patriots. But yeah, so Hokett had this crazy fucking everything rhymed, and even his press conference shit was dumb. I don't know, man. This guy, he's not that entertaining. I get it if some people might find it funny or whatever, but it's not even, it's so just cringe, man. I don't understand it at all. It's just not my thing. So whatever. Josh Hokett though looks good in the cage. 2 first round finishes for his 2 official UFC fights, both with performance of the night bonus. So he's doing well in that aspect, and you can't down on his abilities in the cage. We'll see what happens when they give him a higher level opponent. So next up, we got Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. And man, Alex Perez just looked like a killer in this one. He gets the first round finish as well by TKO with that left hook that started the finish. And Charles Johnson just had some trouble, man. As you can see, being pressed up against the cage quite a bit. Perez just kind of steamrolled him out there, finishing him in that first round. Perez snapped the losing streak he had going, and which is good for him considering he's got the talent. It's just he was on a 2-fight losing streak with losses to Tatsuro Taira and Asuel Mabayev, which are both tough opponents. So it's tough to down on him too much for those losses, but he did get finished in both of those losses. So he finally got it to turn around with this win against Charles Johnson with this first round TKO pretty quick. What up, Tyler Betts? Welcome back. Appreciate you for coming in. Charles Johnson was he was coming off a win with a performance of the night bonus over Loner Kavanaugh with that second round TKO win. But yeah, he got finished quickly in this one. Alex Perez looked like a killer, and he was definitely aggressive and just took it to Charles Johnson and was able to get that early first round finish. So that was Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Next up, we got Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas, and man, everyone was high on Bukauskas on this one, thinking that he kind of had that in the bag. He was a slight favorite over Krylov, but it seemed like everyone was pretty much leaning towards Bukauskas to be able to win this one. But Nikita Krylov, it wasn't a fun fight really throughout the first couple rounds, but then they turned it up in the third round. And with just seconds left, I mean, it was 4 minutes and 57 seconds into the third round, he gets a TKO win over Bukauskas with that overhand right that he finished on the ground with the ground and pound. And he was able to get back in the win column after, having a couple losses. And then, I mean, he controlled the fight pretty much for the most part throughout most of the fight. I'm just stumbling on my words right now, but and he was able to turn it all into a finish really late into the third round. But I mean, the rest of the fight was just not great, man. I was like thinking as we started watching the beginning of that fight, I was like, damn, this has potential to be a really good fight. And then I just felt like a liar and like a dumbass for being gullible, thinking that it was going to be a good fight. And then we get the TKO. So I was like, all right, not too bad of a finish, but damn, it was rough getting there. Krylov versus Hill. Yeah, I mean, that could be a decent fight. Maybe, unless you're being sarcastic, which might be the case. But putting them together, I don't know. It could be a decent fight, maybe. Yeah, so that was it. I mean, Krylov, there's not much more to say except he got lucky to get that finish with 3 seconds left before the end of the fight. So good on him for that one. Even though the rest of the fight was not that great, he still gets to finish, which means he's gonna get a bonus. So that's good for him. So yeah, I guess what the listings are here on Tapology. Oh shit, as I smacked the crap out of the mic. The listings on Tapology, I guess, are the actual performance of the night and fight of the night bonuses that got 100 grand. And then anybody that got finishes, we just know, if you know, basically type shit that, if you get a finish, you get 25 G's. That's how it goes. So, just to clarify that, because I was thinking that it was anything the other way around. Does Charles Johnson have the worst haircut in UFC history? Might be, man. Might be. That haircut is absolutely horrible. Although Marcin Tybura, for a little while, his hair looked like somebody took a shit on his head, basically, and smushed it around. Paramount needed a T. Howard walkout. Yeah, they did. That would have been dope. So, yeah, Charles Johnson with a horrible fucking haircut for sure. Next up, we had Atiba Gaethje. Once again, a little bit of a letdown because we've seen Atiba Gaethje get really quick finishes, exciting fights. This one wound up being a little more of a just grinding fight, I guess you could say. Wasn't able to get him out of there in the first round. He had a streak of first round finishes where he was able to get in there, and even Ngannou had decisions. Yeah, no, for sure. It just looked like he wasn't able to be touched in there, and I wasn't sure that Pulev was going to be that guy to be able to slow him down, but he definitely was. He had 3 wins in a row with 3 bonuses. Oh no, two out of those 3 had bonuses, but they were all first round finishes and all TKOs. And then he finally meets Pulev and winds up going to decision. He didn't move his head well, but he was good durability for sure. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I thought you were saying something else at first. I'm like, huh? I think he needed this though. The adversity will do him good. That dude is 5 years older than him. Yeah, that's always the thing that I say too. It's like, well, he finally got to face the adversity. He's not just dropping fools in the first round. You don't get to really learn a whole lot about the fighter or see what kind of adversity he can overcome or how much he can withstand throughout, getting into the later rounds. What's his cardio gonna look like? Is he gonna give up? Is he gonna get broken? You don't know these things if the guy's just knocking people out in the first round all the time. Pulev went 3 rounds with CLD, I think, too. Yeah, and Duncan's definitely a tough opponent. So I just wasn't sure Pulev was going to be able to deal with what Gaethje's been bringing to everybody else. But he is a little older, has a little more fights, a few more fights under his belt, and has that in-cage experience with more than just first round KOs riding that high. So he definitely made it tougher for Gaethje, but Gaethje was able to still get the win by unanimous decision over Pulev. And yeah, still undefeated in the UFC. Now he's 4-0, and Pulev, I think, was coming off a loss. No, he was coming off a win, but he's been on 3. He lost to Christian Leroy Duncan, beat Nick Klein in his last fight, and now lost to Atiba Gaethje. But yeah, as you can see, he's winning by finishes for the most part, and he's losing by decision. So he takes people into deep water and makes them really work for those works for those wins. So when he loses, it's by unanimous decision. So he is a tough opponent for sure. And I just thought that Gaethje was going to come through and run through him, but a little bit better competition for him. So got to show and prove a little more of what he can do and how much he can withstand in there. Pulev is pretty evasive, but Atiba adjusted and still won clearly. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's good for him too that he was able to get that unanimous decision, and there wasn't really a whole lot of talk about it going the other way at all. So it's a good win for him, and I'm sure he's going to learn a lot from it. And now he's got the experience in there, going 3 rounds and winning a decision. So instead of just a bunch of first round TKOs or KOs, so it's good. It's a good thing for him. But it kind of sucked because we're so used to seeing him just knock people out quickly and be super exciting. The beginning of the first round was pretty exciting, and it looked like Pulev might not be able to withstand too much more punishment. But then he got his legs under him and was able to be evasive, like Tyler said, and was able to drag it out and make it go all 3 rounds. And he proved that he at least has decent cardio. Yeah, especially with a guy that's built like that. You always wonder what his cardio is going to look like. If he's, those muscles are eating up too much of that oxygen, or, maybe he just works more on his physique for aesthetic reasons instead of, the athletic portion of it and, being good with the cardio. And he looked like he was doing pretty well. So good for Gaethje. I'll be looking forward to seeing what kind of competition he gets for this next fight. So the last fight on the prelims, we had what I thought was a pretty decent fight. I feel like it definitely could have been better, but both of these guys kind of have that fighting style. We've seen Deiveson Figueiredo get into some wars, and we know what kind of fighter Umar Nurmagomedov is. So it's to be expected that it would go all 3 rounds. But Umar comes out with the win, with the unanimous decision win, once again beating a former champion as he has in the past. And you know, he's just got that top tier grappling and the positioning that he takes on people. It just, you know, no, there's not a lot of people. You got to be someone like Merab in order to overcome some of that. So you know, Merab's the only guy he's fought and lost to. And I'm sorry, the only guy he's lost to is, I don't know what I'm trying to say, I'm messing my words up again, but that's his only loss that he suffered. And you know, he bounces back with a win over a former champion again. So you know, it's a good bounce back for him, even though, I mean, for the most part, the fight wasn't the best. A few big moments here and there. Figueiredo struggling to engage and catch a rhythm and find a way in on Umar. There wasn't a whole lot he could do with the fighting style of Umar. And I think Figgy's just at that point of his career. You know, he moved up a weight class and he's shown some struggles, had the issues with Sandhagen. Just can't seem to compete with the higher level of that weight class, unfortunately, regardless of how high level he's been in the past. All right, Infinity, appreciate you. But yeah, he just isn't able to keep up with the highest level of that weight class. So it's gonna probably be just some fun fights for him going on the way out. And you know, he might have to wrap it up soon, because he just doesn't seem, unless he turns it around somehow, some way, finds a way to turn it around. Figueiredo had the goal of surviving, and that's it. That's kind of what it looked like. Yep. There's no denying that. He didn't have a whole lot of hunger to win that fight, it seemed. So it was a tough one for him, and he lost. So, and that puts Figgy, I think, on a 2-fight. Wait, I don't remember. No, because he did win against Montel Jackson. He was on a 2-fight losing streak before his last fight against Montel Jackson, which he won by split decision, which is tough against someone like Montel Jackson. And then he comes back and loses to Nurmagomedov. So you can see he lost to Petr Yan, lost to Corey Sandhagen, and then lost to Umar. And he arguably, close split decision. His last few fights have not been great, man. I mean, he went to the second round with Corey, and that wasn't a real exciting fight either. And then Corey, did that crazy sprawl or fucking evasive move that wound up getting Figgy to, what was it? The position that he put him in wound up getting him to fuck up his knee or leg or some shit. Whatever it was, the knee injury. So in that 50-50 position, I think that Sandhagen had him in. Either way, his fights haven't been great. He doesn't seem to have that same intensity and aggressiveness that he used to have. So yeah, it's just tough for Figgy, man. It might be time to start looking around and seeing what's going on with everything else in his life. But I hate saying that about fighters, especially ex-champs and stuff like that. But man, he just has not looked great in his past few fights. So it is what it is. Let's move on to that main card and get to some of this exciting shit that happened here. I mean, the middle of the card wasn't the best. Yeah, the Sandhagen fight was one of the worst performances I've ever. Yeah, it was so bad. And then to get hurt like that just made it look even worse. But yeah, let's get into this main card. We start with Jean Silva versus Arnold Allen, and I feel like this was actually a pretty good fight, man. To start off the main card, Arnold Allen is one of those guys that usually, he goes to decision a lot. And we know Jean Silva is either finishing someone or getting beat by a finish himself. But Arnold Allen was coming off a win over Giga Chikadze, but it was a unanimous decision win, and that was back in July of 2024. He is, Tyler. He is. And that was the last time Arnold Allen fought, and he won that fight by unanimous decision. But before that, he fought one other time in 24, which he fought Mozar Evloev and lost by decision. And then he fought Max Holloway in 2023, where he lost by decision as well. It's like he only fights once or twice a year. Shit, sorry about that. He only fights like once or twice a year at the most. And then in 2025, he didn't fight at all. And I know that he was dealing with some injuries and stuff like that. But even when he's not injured, he still doesn't fight very often. So it's weird for him to go from someone like Gaethje, where he won by unanimous decision, and then wind up turning around and fighting someone like Jean Silva. Even though I know Jean was coming off of a loss, it's still kind of a weird matchup. But I mean, Silva won by unanimous decision. I picked Arnold to win, and I don't regret it. It was really close. I don't know that it was really close, but it was pretty close. But I still think Silva definitely edged it out. After the first round, I thought Jean was cooked, but he pulled it out of the fight. Arnold is unfortunately very injury prone, and he breaks his hands all the time. Yeah, he does. I mean, I guess you could say, so the judges scorecard, it was 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. That is pretty close. That 30-27, you know, someone saw all 3 rounds. I don't think that Jean won that first round. I think he definitely won the second and the third. So it probably should have been 29-28 across the board, which does mean, you know, pretty close. But I mean, how did they score round 1 to Jean? Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Because I was like, oh yeah, 30-27 means they gave him all 3 rounds. That's weird. That's weird, because for sure Arnold Allen came out looking crisp with his jabs and landing punches and leg kicks. I mean, punches and just completely, I don't know why I'm having trouble talking tonight. But he came out looking good with the punches, the combinations, his distance and stuff like that. He was doing well. He was keeping Jean Silva at bay with some of the crazy strikes that he likes to throw. You know, the leg kicks were doing well for Arnold, and but Jean Silva, I mean, I guess Jean Silva at least stayed patient enough to be able to, you know, like absorb some of the shit that was coming at him in that first round and turn it around. He waited to counter a lot, and he was successful with some of it. And then he just wound up coming out like the fucking banshee that he is, and starts throwing a bunch of heavy shots, close the distance, and was able to, you know, get in on Arnold Allen and land like even the body punches and stuff like that. Like in that second picture, you know, he tried that spinning elbow a couple times. Arnold Allen was trying a few things too, but Silva was evading pretty well. I'll give him that much. So, you know, moving the momentum into Jean Silva's direction. You know, they kind of went back and forth in the second round, but Silva was the one that started landing all those big power shots and was able to get, you know, close, like I said, and get in on Allen and you know, get the better of him. So the significant strikes started adding up for Silva, and Arnold Allen hung in there though, because he's tough, man. He's a tough opponent for sure, which is why, you know, people go to decision with him. But Silva just kept that pace up, man, and he was able to just overcome whatever Arnold Allen threw at him in the beginning, and just found a rhythm, and he did well. You know, still not a crazy knockout or anything like that, but you know, for him to be able to come in and turn things around like he did, fighting off that, you know, adversity in the beginning, you know, it's a good thing for Silva, especially coming off a loss like he did against Lopez. Yeah, Arnold Allen almost caught him with the spinning back elbow as well, which is what started the loss off for Silva against Lopez. So it was a little bit scary there for a minute on his part, but you know, Jean Silva and his kicks and everything, he was just able to turn it around, and it was good for him. And then he did some weird shit, because at the end of the round, he kept starting at about 30 to 35 seconds left of the third round. He starts pointing down to the ground and shit, and it's like, bro, like, wait. It was weird, and you know, it's just, he's just calling for the action. Well, then in the last few seconds, we get this shit from him after he knows pretty much it's in the bag. Arnold Allen is really not doing a whole lot, and kind of is a little broken at the moment. And then he like, I don't remember how Allen wound up on the ground, but then Jean Silva jumps, looks like he's gonna try to knee him or punch him, and then instead he puts his hands on his back and jumps on top of him and starts like fucking surfing on him or some shit. And Arnold Allen was pretty pissed about it when he got up and was like, what the fuck was that? But yeah, he just did like a quick step jump off of Arnold Allen's back, which is goddamn disrespectful if you ask me. But you know, they still embraced at the end, and yeah, John Silva, like Tyler said, was crying on Arnold Allen's shoulder. John Silva is one of those guys that he's just so over emotional, and that's fine, man. I get it, but damn, over everything, like every single thing that happens with that dude, including like seeing the UFC belt in front of him, and he's like scream crying about the belt. It was strange. I don't get it. Arnold slapped his hand, then 1 second later they were embracing and he was crying. Yeah, it was strange. And then on top of that, like John Silva was like trying to say shit to Arnold Allen while Joe Rogan came in to try to interview, and Rogan's there trying to hold the mic in his face, and Silva's just like insistent that Allen listens to him, and Arnold Allen's looking at him like, bro, I just lost this fight. I want to get the fuck out of here. It was just all super strange. So yeah, there's not much more else to say besides that. If you watched it, you know how kind of weird that was. But somebody giving that first round to Silva was really just the dumbest shit. And yeah, but we got the win from Silva in the end, and we go from one Silva to the next, because next up we have Natalia Silva, Usman versus Silva personality. Oh shit, did I? There we go. Silva's just fucking weird. Usman just thinks he's the best at everything, so I don't know. That's a weird matchup. I think Jean had the right to cry, honestly. So many people come and go and never fight for the belt. No, I mean, like I said, I don't see a problem with it. It's just he kind of seems to cry for everything, and I don't understand like why everything has to be so overly emotionally charged. It just seems strange, but he's an odd dude. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it. It just comes off as a little strange because, you know, you don't often see a guy cry that much for everything he does. John Silva is like a person on anesthesia all the time. Also, I never asked you how you felt about Muhammad Usman getting suspended. Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about that. Fucking dumb, man. That's all I can say. He fessed up to it though, so he said he's trying to get through an injury or whatever, but yeah, just you can't do that shit these days, man. And especially not blatantly outright like that. So it's tough. It sucks because he's got some potential and he can be a beast. But yeah, this definitely puts him out for a while, and that's not a good thing for his game, considering where he was at in his career too. So Rose won that fight. The robbery was disgusting. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the best fight whatsoever, but I definitely think Rose won that fight. I believe what you put in the world is what you get back. So the fact that his dream is becoming a reality, I understand it completely. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, he hasn't got there yet. He just came off a loss too, and the belt was only there because it was there for as a prop. So it's not like it was getting presented to him. So that's why I think it was a little weird. And then the way he is with his wife, like, it's almost like he just like lost somebody in his family, like, to death. That's how just over the top it was. Crying's one, tearing up or whatever, yeah, cool, but he's like scream crying. It's just strange, man. You could see in the video for the ESPN put out, he like screams and the whole production's looking around like, what the fuck is happening? This guy's just taking pictures, and then everyone's looking at him like, what? Because he's just scream crying on the belt. I don't know, man. It's just me, man. I don't know. It just seems a little weird, a little off, but he is a little off. So anyway, moving on to the women. Silva didn't land anything until the third round. Like, Rose pieced her up in the 1 and 2 and took her down in round 2. Yeah, round, I think I thought I had it 1-1. I felt like she edged out the first round, and then Silva took the second, and I thought it came down to the third. So, but I mean, yeah, nobody might have done shit in the first round, but everyone that was sharing their picks or whatever, what their thoughts were on Twitter and stuff like that, even said that Rose took round 1. It may not have been super decisive, but yeah, those, I mean, they just gave the third round, I think, to Silva, is what I'm thinking. Antoine, sorry, I was trying to figure out, like, she wrestled in her and everything. Yeah, it's just the judges seeing things. Yeah. So what was it? Let me see. Hold on. 29-28 on all the cards, which means regardless of what anybody thinks, the judges gave Rose 1 round. Other than that, Silva wins 2 rounds. So first round, super slow. Namajunas seemed to land more strikes and kicks. Silva just seemed a little slow and cautious, I guess. She wasn't really looking like had her on her back and neutralized her weapons. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I was definitely going for Rose, and I felt like Rose edged it out the way that they seem to think that Silva edged it out. It wasn't a great fight overall, honestly. No matter what either one of them did, it wasn't a great fight. Namajunas scored a takedown in the second round, briefly controlled Silva, but you know, she wasn't able to hold her there. You know, Silva went for an armbar attempt, but it wasn't much of anything. There was just a lot of top control and stuff coming from Rose in that second round. But then in the third, I guess, I mean, Silva came out with a little bit of sense of urgency, I guess, but I don't know. I still feel like Rose, I feel like it was definitely a toss-up. Yeah, I know people are really big on Natalia Silva. She has shown a lot in the past, but yeah, and then she came up against someone like Rose and was very, very like careful, which changed up the way that she fought, you know. Everyone here at my house was getting annoyed with Silva bouncing around the way that she was. Her movement seemed very awkward and like forced. So, and then she wasn't doing anything. So it was a little bit annoying from that aspect. But I mean, I guess she kind of came in with a little more striking in the third round, more kicks and stuff too, but and she landed that late takedown. I guess that might have done it. You know, when you end a round in a dominant position in the judges' eyes, that's just what they remember. So that's probably what gave Silva that third round. If Rose would have done it instead of Silva, maybe Rose would have taken it, considering it was 1-1 going into that third, I feel like. So yeah, it wasn't the greatest fight whatsoever. But you know, both women were told that they would get a title fight after this fight. So this was kind of a title eliminator. And, you know, unfortunately for Rose, she's not able to get that. So I don't know what's going to happen with her. She didn't look too bad against Silva. All right, Tyler. I listen, man. That's in my opinion. I feel like it was a close round in the third. It's how it ended. That's how everybody always remembers. I don't feel like she did that much. It wasn't a great fight all the way around, so it's close, so it could have gone either way. But for me, I didn't think it went that way. So I mean, even a lot of people were calling, well, nothing really happened in the first, I thought you said, so of course it was close. It's just my opinion, man. Listen, you can feel how you want to feel about it. I'm not going to argue with how you, but when you continuously respond to me with what you think it was, I get it. We already talked about that. So it's just one of those things where you know, I'm telling you what my feelings were on it, and that those were my feelings. So yeah, so we'll see what happens with Rose next. But that's just how I felt about it, and I'm a big Rose fan, so maybe I'm biased or something, but I feel like, and a lot of other people seem to feel like Rose could have won that fight, or should have won that fight, and that the judges' scorecards could have gone the other way. Yeah, I know people are just so, I don't even see Silva as being that hot, honestly. But I think in the fighting world, as far as the fight game goes, I feel like Namajunas, no, she fell off a little bit, unfortunately. That is what sucks. So the looks or whatever, but for this being a fight, I wanted it to be more exciting. I wanted it to be more exciting, and it's just, yeah. All Silva really has is an ass, bro, and that doesn't make everything. Sorry. That's just me. That's what I think. She's not a bad looking girl whatsoever, but How does John Silva react to watching a movie in theater? Oh God, I don't even want to know. Anyway, that's it for Silva versus Namajunas. Let's move on to Waldo Cortez Acosta versus the Black Beast. Man, what a fucking disappointment. It looked like the Beast was coming in there looking a little more, looking like he looked like he was in shape, honestly, in the lead up and stuff, but he just looked so bad in this one, man. Acosta just was just better. That's all there is to it. I don't know, man. The Black Beast, I like him. I do like him a lot. I know I had that shirt on or whatever, and I got that for Christmas, and I love the Black Beast. I think he's fucking hilarious, but I seem to always like the guys that are not the best fighters ever, and that kind of sucks. They always wind up having you like just, it's just a disappointment. They get close to winning big things and then they just don't, and that's how a lot of time the fighters that I'm really big fans of wind up turning out, and it sucks, but it is what it is. So yeah, it just kind of looked like Lewis wasn't all there. Like he couldn't really find a way to land anything big on Cortez Acosta. So I mean, obviously he's got that one punch knockout power, and sometimes he can land that out of nowhere. Like he's come back from damn near losing a fight against who was it, Volkov? Or I think it was Volkov, where he was losing and looked like it was done for him, and then he came out of it and lands a big punch on Volkov and finishes him. But Cortez Acosta seems a little more athletic and stuff compared to the Beast. But he just didn't have it, man. He didn't have it at all. It sucks. It sucks. And you know, with Derek Lewis being 40 years old now, it's like, how much more is he gonna, how much further is he gonna go? He's just gonna try to keep making some money. But I mean, it sucked because he was looking pretty good, but he always, as good as he looks, he'll turn around and make a shitty move and fight a shitty fight. So that's what's tough. So TKO due to strikes, because he like somewhat went down after Cortez Acosta just landed a right hand. It was a weird way that he went down, and then next thing you know, it almost looked like Lewis just fell to the ground, and then he stayed on the ground. Cortez Acosta just kind of jumped on top of him, and then the ref waved it off. It was, I don't know, man. Okay. Huh. Oh, all right. I don't know what's going on. Okay. All right. Dude, I think we have a bot. I was just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Time's running. Let's go on to Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Man, and I was hoping for this one to be a little bit better of a fight as well. Sean did, look like himself. Yeah, for sure. I was just trying to make some sense of what the fuck is happening. So Sean O'Malley looked like himself at times in this fight, but Song Yadong, man, he's tough, and he definitely he kind of pushed the pace. He conducted the pace kind of, because I think O'Malley tried to push the pace, and he just couldn't really like get in on Song the way that he has in the past to other opponents. So Song kept pressing him with leg kicks though, and pressure, the takedown attempts. He seemed aggressive at times, and then he tried to, you know, take control of the fight, but Sean was able to turn it around and start landing some good punches. As we see, he landed that knee, which he's done in the past. There's a lot of things that he was able to do, but he just wasn't able to get the finish. And you know, his striking looked a little better than it did in against Merab and stuff like that, because maybe he wasn't so worried about the takedown. He was able to let it go a little bit. Either way, Song still put a lot of pressure on him, and I was a little worried there for the beginning of the fight, honestly. He, you know, Song like finished that first round with a takedown and controlled him. So yeah, that first round was tough. And then I was just like, damn, is this gonna be the way that Sean goes out again? And it just, you know, he stuck in there. He was able to start finding, you know, a place for his striking to land. And even though Song is really tough, it was a close fight. I feel like it was a really close fight, but Sean O'Malley's able to finally get out of the losing bracket and back into the win column with a win over Song Yadong, and a unanimous decision win at that. Let's see, did I write down the scorecards here? Shit, I might not have. I don't think I did. Damn it. That's all right, because I think it was second and third round wins for Sean O'Malley, and then the first round went to Song. It was just all judges scored 29-28. That's right. So how do you think Jan versus O'Malley 2 goes? If Jan looks like he did against Merab, it's going to be tough for O'Malley. But if he fights that way against O'Malley, with the length that O'Malley has on him and the fact that he's, you know, got the win on him already, I think he puts up a decent fight. But I don't know. We got to see how Sean bounces back from this one. If he's fighting Petr Yan next, though, which I don't know that he will. But he lost a split decision to Yan when he won a split decision. It was a fight of the night, and it was a split decision win for his fight against Petr Yan. So if Yan looks as good as he did against Merab, with O'Malley having a different set of skills, I think that it might be tougher for Yan to get that you know, to be that dominant over O'Malley like he was over Merab, because Merab just doesn't have the striking that O'Malley has. But is O'Malley going to be gun shy because he knows that Yan can do kind of everything? And then he's still, you know, seems to be a little worried about those takedown attempts, considering what Merab did to him and how he kind of broke him and humbled him. So I don't know. I think it'd be an interesting fight, considering O'Malley won the first round between them. But I think it's going to be one of those just have to wait and see type deals. And what the fuck did I just do here? Anyway, sorry, I clicked on something somehow, and now, okay, there we go. Got it to go away. But yeah, for now, Sean O'Malley beat Song Yadong, and I feel like it was a pretty decent fight. I feel like it could have been better, but it was somewhat technical, and to see Sean O'Malley come out to his song was a big thing. I was glad to see that. I wanted to see Sean O'Malley of old come out. A little bit of it did, but not as much, and I'm hoping that you know, means he's gonna turn things around and really do better in his next fight. So we'll see who they put him up against next. So this brings us to the final oh shit, I pushed the wrong one. There it is. The final fight, the main event. Holy shit, was this a fight, huh? Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Who would have thought it was going to be like this? We know that Justin Gaethje is a chaotic fighter. Chaos is what everything is revolved around when it comes to Gaethje fighting. He was a wrestler back in the day, but he doesn't do a whole lot of wrestling. And he's able to, you know, be so damn durable that he gets into crazy wars with people and doesn't get knocked out often. Yeah, he got that knockout from Max Holloway, but that was just a crazy turn of events, and it was just you know, reckless abandon, and it was crazy. So I picked Justin on my podcast. Seeing him drop Paddy with uppercut got me out of my chair. Yeah, Justin Gaethje's uppercuts are sick. I was screaming for him to hit those uppercuts way earlier than he did. Because when you see Justin hit one of those uppercuts, it's insane and it's awesome to watch. But yeah, I mean, unanimous decision all the way around. 48-47, 49-46, 49-46. For Justin Gaethje, who claims the interim UFC lightweight championship for the second time. This is the second time he's become an interim champion, on top of the fact that he was the BMF champion at one point in time. So, you know, Gaethje just brought the pressure right away, as he usually does. Lots of power shots, as we know Gaethje to do. Pushing the pace, and I thought Pimblett was gonna possibly, after, you know, maybe feeling some of the power of Gaethje, or, you know, trying to see about winning the stand-up game, and Gaethje maybe getting the best of him. I thought for sure Paddy was gonna come out and try to wrestle a little more, or at least get him down to the ground to get into some positions to threaten with the submissions, but he didn't. The second interim title put him in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. Gaethje's one of those legends, though, with the way that he fights and the way people think of him. So I think the fact that, with all that said, and the interim titles, and having been the BMF belt holder at one point in time, I think I could see him getting into the Hall of Fame. Whether people would agree with it or not, I think that's all criteria that would lead him to being put into the Hall of Fame after he retires. So I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up there. I'll say that. So, but yeah, best moments for Gaethje, you know, is most, like always, power and control. That's what he does. Dropping Pimblett, he dropped Pimblett a bunch of times, actually, like 3 or 4 times probably. But you know, Pimblett was able to get up and you know, he proved it right. Scousers don't get knocked out, but he sure got beat the fuck up, and he had to eat his words, because he told Gaethje that he was gonna fuck his face up and in return, that's what happened to him. Gaethje barely had a scratch or two, and Pimblett's face was all fucked up. So the pressure and the striking volume is really what Gaethje wins his fights with, along with that power. So you know, that's what did it for him here too. But Pimblett has heart, man. Has heart. He's durable as shit. He says Scousers don't get knocked out, and he's shown and proved that doesn't happen for him yet. And he fought through a lot of adversity, higher level opponent. He fought with intensity. He made it through all 5 rounds. He landed great strikes of his own. Just being able to stay in there with Gaethje taking that kind of punishment was crazy, and the amount of wild exchanges and then just nonstop kind of action made this fight fucking awesome. So, and it saved the card, if you ask me. There was some great fights in the prelims, and the prelims were pretty entertaining. You know, the Allen versus Silva fight was pretty good, but then it kind of hit a lull, and O'Malley brought it back a little bit. But then we get to this fight, and everyone's kind of like half dead waiting, because it did seem like the event kind of took a while to finally get to that main event. But when we finally get there, we get the one and only 5-round fight, and it's the most exciting fight we could see, even though it went all 5 rounds. Just early on with a fight of the night, fight of the year possibility here. With so much that happened, you know, Pimblett getting the upper hand at one point in time, you know, working on Gaethje's legs with the kicks. You know, there was the eye poke shit that happened. The first eye poke was legit. You know, Gaethje had his fingers spread wide open. He didn't have them, you know, closed in a fist, so pushing away from Pimblett's face. The second one, though, that was kind of that was like a true legit accident. I feel like he went to punch him, and his finger got caught kind of in his eye as he like grazed Pimblett's face. So I mean, that one, sure, they didn't call it, but it was also hard to tell, because one camera angle showed that it was a punch, but another camera angle showed the finger actually, you know, kind of catching the corner of Pimblett's eye. And, you know, that seemed to bug Pimblett quite a bit, but he didn't argue or complain a whole lot, which I commend him for. But it, you know, it did happen, and it's unfortunate. And did that lead to his downfall though? I don't know, because he kept fighting hard and had his big moments after that too. Still, it's not like he got finished right after that, because that's when the true controversy hits. And you know, they both kind of landed some low blows. There was a lot of kind of fouls, but that's what happens in these wild, crazy, nonstop action type fights, where everyone's throwing fucking, you know, throwing insane, crazy punches, volume like crazy. You know, but the refs are not calling everything. They gave Gaethje a stern warning, and then the second time, it, you know, nothing even happened. The fight just kept going. So yeah, it's just one of those things, man. It's just always foul when the fouls happen and the refs don't call it. It's tough, and that's always going to be a factor in whether or not that affected the outcome of the fight. But it is what it is. As far as, you know, Gaethje was pretty fucking beat up, man. Pretty beat up, but it was cool as shit to see Justin Gaethje. Oh, did I say Gaethje? I meant Pimblett. Maybe I said, I don't know. Either way, I meant Pimblett was pretty beat up. You can see it in his face here. Man, that wearing that chain does not work for, especially with that hair. Holy shit, does he look like a poser. But I like Paddy a lot, don't get me wrong, but that chain just doesn't look right on him. It looks weird. But sick ass chain, but damn, that looks weird on him. But his face is beat the fuck up, man. He took a lot of big crazy punches from Justin Gaethje. So I commend him on his heart and his durability, and being able to fight through that adversity was great for him, and I think that's what's going to make him a champion in the future. But he has a lot of time. He's still a young guy, so I'm happy to see Justin Gaethje get that win, regain another title, even if it is an interim. Makes the second time that he's been an interim title holder. Yeah, it was a betting sponsor. Oh yeah, it was. Unk's jealous of the swag. Not really. I mean, I'd take it to sell it, because that's worth the fuckload. But I think Paddy looks Justin versus Ilya, yeah. But man, I am worried about that fight, because Ilya is a different type of opponent for Justin, and Justin has not had the best track record against the highest level of opponents. Paddy's one of those guys that's you know, was a quick up and comer, undefeated in the UFC, but hadn't really fought the same level of competition that Justin Gaethje is, even though Chandler's kind of there with him. So, you know, it's one of those things where he hadn't really fought anybody like Justin, so it's tough. Let me pull up the rankings, Antoine, because Paddy fight the winner of BSD versus Dan Hooker. Ooh, that could be a damn good matchup, actually. The rankings aren't going to be good right now, though, because they don't get updated until Tuesday, I think. So yeah, we had 6 weeks off. They haven't been updated, so I guess it's not really going to make a big difference. But could Paddy fight the winner of BSD versus Dan Hooker? Yeah, I could see that happening. That would be a good fight too, actually. And then Max Holloway is fighting Charles Oliveira, so that one's booked. Unless he fights the winner of those two, because that's for the BMF title, right? And then that puts and then that could put whoever wins the fight between those two and Paddy for a title fight between whoever wins between Justin and Ilya, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot that could happen there, because Gamrot's still in the mix. Fiziev and Renato Moicano are still all in the top 10. Who would you pick between Norma versus Juliana? As much as I hate to say it, I don't know. Norma's a tough one on the feet, but Juliana's really good with control and the ground game, submissions and stuff. She's great with the wrestling and grappling. So I don't know. That's a tough one. I think Paddy fights Charles if Charles loses to Max. Why wouldn't he? Well, oh yeah, loser versus loser. Yeah, that could be a thing as well. There's a lot of matchups that can be made there. I'd be interested to wait and see what the rankings look like after this weekend, and see what they look like on Tuesday. you know, and then just take a look at the landscape of things. But yeah, that about does it, man. That about does it. So it was fun finally getting the event back. UFC 324. I was happy to watch it. The main event fucking just took over and definitely saved the entire card, I think. So yeah. Oh no, I just clicked out of that. I did not mean to. Let me go back. Damn it. Hold on. Who would you make? Sean versus Umar? Oh, would I make Sean versus Umar? I mean, yeah, I don't think that's going to be a very fun fight, though. I'll say that much. Sean versus Umar just doesn't feel like it could be very good. But I mean, it could be made. So I guess, yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. But I think, I actually think that, oh, what's up, Shawnee? I actually think that, him versus Piotr makes a lot of sense, but we'll see if they give Jan or Marab another crack at Jan. So 325. Well, tune back in on Thursday because I will be previewing 325. I feel like it's not as good of a card as this one was, but that means it has a lot of potential to possibly make it a good one. So man, I messed some shit up here. Anyway, who cares? We're ending anyway. Thank you, 78 Northwest. I appreciate it. Yeah, so that's about it for me. Come back on Thursday and we will preview UFC 325. We're gonna have a yeah, Infinity. I'm just being dumb over here. So, but anyway, we're gonna have a watch party next Saturday. So be ready for that as well. And I'll talk about it more on Thursday, as well as make sure you tune in on Friday for DJ at DJ Infinity AZ's YouTube channel. Go subscribe over there. Be on the lookout for us going live on Friday. So you'll see me on Thursday and then you'll see me on Friday as well. I'll turn it on again. I'll turn it on again. I'll talk about it again on Thursday. And we'll go a little more in depth and see what's going on for Friday. All right, so that's it for me. Appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit that like button before you get out of here. Subscribe if you don't mind. I'd appreciate that if you're not subscribed already. Otherwise, that'll be it for me. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Peace.